Two, one. All righty, everybody. Welcome to the latest version of Real Talk with OJ. We are two brothers that talk live from different coasts. That is my brother. I am O Dog the Stat Tech. They call me my real name is Otis. To my you'll see him with the glasses. He is,
I am Jamal, aka Molly D, coming on from
and we
Delaware.
have a special guest. We have a
Okay.
special guest from the Patriot think tank. As long as his, let me see the video. Is the video working? He is. George, introduce yourself.
He said I'm doing that, and it's frozen.
Yeah, I know. We got a little freeze here. This is real talk. I mean, what's going on here? I don't know.
Yeah,
All right,
we were
George is
saying,
going to jump back in. We'll
yeah,
get him
yeah.
back in here. We'll bring in our special guest. And listen, this is what we do. We're going live. Jay, what's going on? First of all, it's been a couple of weeks since we've been on the show. And how are you? How's everything going? What's
Good.
new?
Everything's going pretty stinking good. You know what I mean? Even whatever setbacks come up, it's just like it still feels good
All right.
to be
And hold on. Let
back
me.
in the game.
Oh, there we go. There's George. He's coming back. George, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us as always.
Excuse me, I just have to say that George, when you came back and you were actually live, you still like for that first couple of seconds, you looked like you were still
Oh, there
frozen.
we go. There's George.
Yeah, I should be back now. I think I had a loose connection here. I was hardwired, so it should have been perfect, but nothing's perfect.
All right,
So,
first of all, let me just say happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there who's Irish or of Irish descent. My wife is of
Or
Irish
likes to
descent,
drink.
or who likes to drink, or who likes to celebrate. My wife tells me they don't celebrate St. Patty's Day in Ireland. I don't know that to be true or untrue. I just know that's what she said.
Isn't your wife Israeli?
My wife is of Irish descent. Her mother's last name
Okay.
is Sullivan.
I'm not messing with you.
Like, what are you talking about?
I think
All
the
right,
St.
so
Patrick's
listen.
thing in Ireland is kind of they celebrate it, but I think they're kind of annoyed that the U.S. uses it as a
It's
drinking
a big
Money
only.
drinking
making,
holiday.
yeah, money making joint.
They
Well,
don't get
well, I'll tell you
triggered.
what.
Irish people don't get triggered, but they just kind of like blow us off like
I'm
like
just
we
saying
drink
like this.
anyway.
I'm
Like you
saying to
stupid
you,
Americans, right, right.
what you can have as a person who is non-Irish. I have a T-shirt. I am not wearing it. I'm sorry, people of Irish descent. I'm not wearing it. I didn't have the forethought to do that. But it says, "Kiss me. I'm Irish-ish."
All right. Well, however you get your Irish on, welcome to the show. And we are live on Facebook at O Dog the Stat Tech. We are live on Twitch, man. This is our first broadcast on Twitch, I believe. Let me just make sure we're live on Twitch because we're doing some new things. We're trying to expand the show and trying to get it right. Um, And so, for all of the people that are on Twitch that happen to be joining us or may come about us quite accidentally, we appreciate your time. And I think we're live on YouTube as well. We should be live on YouTube. If we're not, we'll get it figured out. But this is how things grow and develop. And yeah, so we're here. All right, so what's going on, Jay? What are we talking about today?
Well, today I just kind of feel like talking about everything that's been going on in the last couple of weeks. I feel like I'm titling this show "Cancel Culture / Mind Your Business."
Okay.
So, in saying that, I'm going to say that we really need to start thinking about how far we want to go into anyone's life. If it's not necessary or if it's necessary. Can we figure out those things? Or just into art or into any of the things that you and I grew up on that we saw that while seeing that, there's been studies that say that we just kind of we kind
We
of
got a free
go
Pepe Le
into things
Pew. That's what
mentally.
we got to do.
We got to do what?
Wait,
Get rid of
what are you
Pepe Le
talking
Pew?
about? Free Pepe
I'm
Le
going
Pew?
to break Pepe Le Pew
No,
out
no.
of
Well, I'm
jail,
talking
man.
to you
I'm
about
putting the
it, and you
gang
want to know
together
why?
right now.
You want to know why we're talking about it? We're talking about it because it comes back to the fact that people wanted him gone because they felt like he represented rape culture.
Whatever.
Who was this? Pepe Le Pew?
So
Yes.
that's Pepe's a player. I don't. This is a perfect example.
Okay, so I'm going to give you. I'm going to give
crazy.
you. I'm going to give you the overview of this situation. The
Of
overview. Of
Pepe, wait, hold on. As a co-host of this show, I have to first let me define cancel culture because I'm too old to know what that means. And it says cancel culture is a modern form of ostracism in which somebody is thrust out of social or professional circles, whether it be online or on social media or in person. Those who are subject to this ostracism are said to have been "quote unquote" canceled. Um, that's an interesting phenomenon to me. How does it relate to Pepe Le Pew?
They dropped him out of Space Jam.
Like I said, they took him out of the new Space
They're
Jam
trying to pull him from the Looney Tunes family.
because of the fact that they feel it represents rape culture.
Okay, well,
Okay,
let me ask
so-
you this. Let me ask you this. First of all, does it?
No.
I know you say no,
Of course not.
but listen.
Now, hold on. Let me. Before we go down that road, when's the last time you watched a Pepe Le Pew cartoon? Because I haven't
That's
watched
what
it
I'm
in
saying.
20 years.
That-
I watch
that's the
Looney
end
Tunes.
result of
Don't get
mine.
it twisted.
It's
I got
like-
all kinds of quotes from Looney Tunes. I be pulling
Yeah,
out
you
all the
might,
time.
but do your kids? Do your kids
You know
watch
what? Yeah,
Bugs
my
Bunny?
kids do because I made sure they got into Looney Tunes as soon as I started watching some of these cheesy freaking cartoons that they're trying to pump on my kids. I'm like, I need Yosemite shooting some shit up here. That's what I was thinking. I was like, look, dude, they disarmed Elmer Fudd, bro. Come on now. They disarmed Elmer Fudd.
Look.
What
I get
kind of
all
dirty
of that.
human being is nothing
But,
sacred?
but George, my point is this: is we need to not be talking about that aspect of it. What we need to be talking about, the aspect we need to be talking about is watching Bugs Bunny or watching Tom and Jerry or any of it didn't make me feel any kind of way about anything
Right.
other than
Laughing at the
honestly,
fact that it was funny.
other than if somebody's trying to get you with Bugs Bunny, if somebody's trying to
Keep
get
running.
you, be smarter than them.
Oh, they're gonna get
Get
bugs.
away.
Dude. Don't get it wrong. They're gonna get bugs because that dude dressed up as a woman more than once.
Let me tell you
They're
something.
gonna
They're not
get
going to
him.
get bugs. They're not ever going to get bugs.
Oh, they're getting them.
They're never going to
They're
get
getting
them. But
that whole
my point is-
transgender
my
thing.
point
He's
is-
getting it.
My point is the fact that we're talking about an animated cartoon. We're talking about an animated character that you could have quite simply changed the demeanor of this character and changed his whole. As you're introducing it to a new generation, you could have changed the character and who he was. They
They're
are not
doing that,
watching
though.
Looney. Look. My point is this: is that this new generation of kids is that they're not watching Looney Tunes. They're not watching Looney Tunes. That's
They
not what
do,
they're
but
watching.
they're like new versions of it and stuff. It's like they kind of dumbed it down and it's not fun anymore. But
I'm
that's
saying
the
not
whole
fun to
kind of
you.
point, though.
Not fun to
Like,
you. No, you say it's not fun to you. That's what you have to say. Because My Little Pony, my daughter watches My Little Pony, okay, all the time. And the thing is this: is I'm standing here like this. If we
Yeah,
had
but My Little Pony was always
Otis,
kind of gay.
Otis,
So they
if
didn't
we
really
had a-
knock
if we
that
had a-
down a notch.
George, let me finish. If we had a cartoon with horses in it, they were horses. These horses have mustaches and lipstick and all that. It's just kind of like, and yeah, we had some of that weirdness, but the animals that did it made I don't know. It's just weird. Like they're making them into
Scooby-Doo
people.
was symbolizing
Faces,
pothead
the
culture.
faces look too much like people. All of that. But in any event, my
Wait,
point is,
Hold
do
on.
you feel
What
Pepe
did
Le
you
Pew
say
should have
Scooby-Doo
been?
was a pothead?
Oh, yeah.
Who?
The
Scooby-Doo?
symbolism of Scooby-Doo was
Oh,
hilarious.
yeah, Scooby Doo and Shaggy. Come
Yeah,
on,
they
man.
were total
All
potheads.
they
That's
did
why
was
the Scooby
eat,
snacks
dog.
was such a big deal because they had
Wait
the
a minute.
munchies.
Where have I been? I'm not familiar.
I don't know
with
where
that.
you've been, dude, but you need to pay attention a little bit more. My
Bro,
point
they
is
actually
this.
did an
This is
off-Broadway
why-
show on Scooby-Doo
Let's
that I went to
trim
go
our
see 'cause
timeline.
that's the kind of guy I am.
George, let's trim our timeline. All right. So I'm saying to you, first subject, Pepe Le Pew. The bottom line is this, Otis. Pepe Le Pew is chasing after a female character who happens to be a cat, but she got caught in some sort of
Some paint
situation where-
spilled and like hit her on the back.
paint
and made her white
spills, whatever it was, it makes her look like a skunk. So he's after that skunk, right? And she's like, "I'm a cat. I don't want this." and he's still like, oh, baby, baby, baby,
Rosetti.
and lock doors on her, all that
Thank
stuff.
you.
So in this day and age, that's straight up rape culture. You know what I mean?
All right,
Never
let me
raped a
ask
cat.
you this. Let me ask you this. When does it, and what's the line between being an aggressive individual who says, I really like this woman, and I really, maybe if I ask her out a couple of times, because look, not for nothing, hold on, Jake, not for nothing, Michelle Obama has said that she didn't say yes to Barack on the first time. He had to come back a couple of times. And so that being said, if you ask a
That's
woman
not
on
what
a
we're
date,
talking about. We're
I know, but
here.
hold on.
No,
He
Pepe
didn't lock
was
her in a
aggressive
room.
though. Pepe would be
Yeah,
like
well,
grabbing
That's
her
what
like,
I'm, that's what I'm trying to define. When does it become overly aggressive?
Depends. Are we
When
talking about reality or cartoons?
when the woman
Because I
says
think
so,
that's the difference here.
when the woman says so, that's when.
Well, I
That's
agree
the
with that.
reality.
When she says
That's the
stop,
reality. The
Bro,
when
that's
she
a
reality
great
says
is
skit
stop,
from
leave
Bill
me alone,
Burr.
I'm
By
not
no
interested.
means no. Because the fact is,
that's my
and
point,
he does
Otis. That's
he
my
does
point.
this skit. He says no doesn't mean no. And he says no. He goes no means no. He's like, but no, stop it. Oh, cut it. No, quit it.
Oh my
That
God,
doesn't
it's like
necessarily mean
1980
no.
right now.
And
Did
the
he just give
reality
us
is
a
on paper.
1980?
On
Did he just
paper,
give us
you
a
read that
1980
and
quote?
go, she said no, stop, quit it. Like
George,
you're just sitting in court, like, no, that's not how she said it. It's like,
but
and
George,
that's it. The news is
George,
already how you're done. Like,
but George, here's the thing: is that there may be times that it's like that, but there are other times when it's not like that. So
right.
what
But
do
the
you?
point is,
So
it's
what
not
do you
always.
pay attention to? Do you
The
pay
point
attention
is,
to
no is
all of
not
it?
always no. And when you look at it, when you look at it on a piece of paper, when someone's reading it in a courtroom, it sounds a hell of a lot worse than it did the night that it happened. And the
But
fact is, if you're in a room with a girl and you guys are hitting it off, you've been hitting it
woo,
off all night, and she invites you to her place, and you go in there, and you guys are
George,
getting on, and she's giving you the whole no, stop it, no, and
George,
you know what I'm talking about. You're not thinking
George, what we
she doesn't
know,
want to do anything.
George, what we know, what we've experienced in our lifetimes is not what people are experiencing in their lifetimes right
It
now.
actually
So
is.
what?
They're just
No,
interpreting it
no,
different, Jamal.
George. What I'm going to
It's
say to you is
exactly
this:
the feedback.
I would advise every young male out there, and Otis, you tell me if I'm wrong.
To get
I would
signed
advise
consent.
every young male out there that if the word no or stop is mentioned at any time, do exactly that.
Get a signed affidavit because that's
Listen,
the crap world you people are being brought up in. And I apologize on behalf of humanity for the idiocy that you have to deal with.
listen.
Because
Here's the thing.
I don't know.
I'll say
I
this.
don't know, man.
I'll say this. I'll say this.
And then we'll move
talk
on.
about ruining the mood.
I'm in the middle. I understand kind of what George is saying, but I also understand what Jay is saying, and I think to protect yourself as a young man, and what I will teach my sons is, look, if the woman says no, it's not even worth it. Just say, okay, I'm cool with that, and move on with your day. If you feel like the relationship or whatever your situation you thought you were in has changed, and it can change in a moment. It can change in a second. So be mindful of that as a man, but also be mindful of that as a woman. Don't put yourself in certain situations that will lead people to believe certain things. And also don't, as a man, don't put yourself in situations that you violate any woman. We respect women on this show. We respect people. We respect all humanity. We respect love. We respect relationships. So let's move forward, Jay. You're talking about this cancel culture. Speak to me up on it, because you have some legitimate and some definitive ideas about it, or definite ideas about it. Talk to me.
So the thing about cancel culture is it's a very slippery slope. All right. So, like, here's the thing: everything happens. Everything happens.
I got to walk for a second.
Listen, I'm gonna tell the world the truth right now. Everything happens in a pendulum. So as we talk about these different topics, right? As we talk about these different topics, I want, people to actually understand, like, where there may be a level of ridiculousness as opposed to something that needs to be done. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to pull this up right now. I'm having an
Well, let
issue.
me ask you this, Jay. Is cancel culture just holding people accountable for their words and their actions?
Sometimes it is, but there's other times that there's not. Sometimes.
Okay, so how do we tell the difference?
How do we tell the difference?
That's the problem.
That is
Everyone gets to
exactly
interpret that after the fact, and that's why it's nonsense. Because there is no telling the difference. In the end, it's just a matter of who wants to get mad at who for what.
Okay,
and
no,
the fake rage that comes out over the internet is stunning to me. Like,
I don't
that
believe
anyone
it's that,
even cares.
George, I don't believe it's that, because there's examples where it's not that. Like when we look at R. Kelly.
Examples of everything.
Stop. If we're talking about somebody that should have been canceled a long time ago, like somebody that people should have, and let's stop using the word cancel. We're not freaking millennials. The bottom line is this: if there was a time for someone to not have a career, R. Kelly was it. Okay. R. Kelly gave us examples of it early. All right. So that's what I'm talking about. It's talking about somebody who should not be able to make money for the things they've done.
I'm just saying. That's not even canceling. That's just arresting a criminal. Like
yes, but you know what? But George, you know what happened? Really, is that the remix to Ignition was being played at every white wedding, at every black wedding, at every wedding in the United States, and probably some in Europe and all over the world. While he was doing what he was doing, after we had already seen signs. So that's where cancel culture came from, because of the mistakes that we made back here. Other people put, the 0 to 100 on it, and this is where we're at.
Bro, this is kind of like the Me Too movement, all right? Like Harvey Weinstein.
No, we're not going to do this.
Freak, okay, I get it.
We're not going to do this, George. We're not going to do this.
That got escalated into the point where, where women are coming out speaking on men who, they just didn't like the food the guy cooked them before on their date. Like it was getting stupid.
Okay, so let's move forward to the next thing. And I know you're going to feel the same way about this, but I want Otis to have some say in this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? So we're going to go to you next, Otis. All right. So the Turner Classic Movie Channel. All right. In the last this month,
TCL.
They have Breakfast at Tiffany's, Tarzan, Psycho, and Gone with the Wind under a microscope for offensive content.
All right, let's Breakfast at Tiffany's.
You list that again? I got to write it down so I can buy all that stuff.
Wait.
Hold on. Breakfast at Tiffany's. Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yes.
What else?
Tarzan.
Okay.
Psycho.
Okay.
And Gone with the Wind.
Okay, first of all, Gone with the Wind has some questionable issues that, first let me say this. I don't think I've seen, it was Breakfast at Tiffany's, Tarzan, Gone with the Wind, and what else?
And Psycho.
All right, with all due respect to the filmmakers, I haven't watched any of those movies, so I can't really I don't really know anything about them.
Do you need me to break it down for you? I'll break it down.
If you want, it's your show. I just work here.
I'm saying, very quickly, I'll break it down for you. All right?
Does it matter what they did, though? No.
I'm telling you I'm just telling you what the problem is, what people have a problem with. Okay? I'm just telling you what people have a problem with, and then we can talk about it. So when it comes to Breakfast and Tiffany's, they have a man upstairs that's played by a white man who is a full-on stereotypical Chinese man. You know what I mean? It's a white guy playing a Chinese guy, so it's like the asshole and all of that type of shit. Okay, so that's that, right? Then you go to Tarzan, and all of a sudden, a white dude is the king of the jungle in Africa. It's like, oh, really? Wow, we couldn't see that coming. Okay, so then you have Psycho, so the first one is about, slander against Oriental people, Asian people. Okay, Asian. The second one is about black people. The third one, all right, which is Psycho, is about transgender people, because the guy Norman Bates, I guess he hated his mom. He killed his mom, but he would dress up like a woman and kill people, you know what I mean, at the Bates Motel. So they're saying that puts a bad light on transgender people. And then we get to, what's the last one? Gone with the Wind. Now, Gone with the Wind, I can defend all of them. And I'll start with Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind is a movie about. It's a time period. It's a period piece. It's about right before the Civil War, which means there's going to be slaves in the movie. All right?
And there's going to be people treating them badly, too.
Hold on. Like 12 Years a Slave. What was that, 2012? That came out? 12 Years a Slave?
Okay.
There were offensive things in the movie. Period. And yet, in Gone with the Wind, like one of the first black women, being the one that played her mammy, all right, she was the one that won Best Supporting Actress. She got an Academy Award for that. Opening Doors, okay?
Yeah, but so that's a black movie.
Psycho, yeah, that is I feel that's black people and you know white people that are sympathetic fighting against that. Or mostly white people that are sympathetic. So then you got to Psycho, which is a situation where the guy has a mental disorder from some sort of abuse that his mom put on him, and he killed her, and then now he dresses up as her and kills people. That is not that's an identity crisis. Not choosing your gender identity has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, but hold on. How about the fact that he's killing? So he dresses up as women, and he kills.
He dresses up as his mom. Okay. Specifically his mom.
So hold on. Should people with mental illness be offended by that? I mean, I'm just asking a question.
I don't know whether you
should be offended
by it at all. Hold on. Here's the thing.
Everyone should be offended. Let's all get on Twitter right now.
Here's the real question. The real question is,
hold on.
What do we make movies about, Otis? What do we make movies about then? If we can't make movies about things that happen, okay? Like mentally ill people have killed people. All right? Black people have killed white people. White people have killed black people. All of these things are there. People cheat on their wives. Women cheat on their husbands. It's like, what do we make movies about if everybody's going to get offended about something that we're telling a level of truth about? And the movie was made in what? The 50s? Like the 60s, maybe? It was in black and white.
The question for me becomes, wait a minute. The question becomes...
And all of these movies were made in a time period where that was the society.
That's everything, Jamal.
You can't change that. You can't change that.
Can I say something?
People cannot handle context. They can't handle context.
No, let me say this.
People from the times of our founders by today's standards.
Leave the founders out of it. Leave the founders out of it. The founders wanted us to change.
I didn't say
we're not bringing the founders into this.
Era.
This is about art.
The era.
Founders.
The era.
Founders.
Settle down. Okay. So they're judging people in the 1700s or 1800s by the standards of today.
We're talking about
that's
now.
Insanity.
All right, but hold on. Let me ask you this. First of all,
we're talking about.
Let me ask you this. Does art imitate life, or does life imitate art? Because the question for me becomes, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Does art imitate life, or does life imitate art? If this is, somebody's creation from story, huh?
Art imitates life. Before,
right, so
something
there's always going to be something in some film, or let me say this. There is likely to be something somewhere in some film, some form of entertainment, some form of art, artistic expression that offends someone, right? I mean, would that be fair?
Always, if it's done right.
So then, if it's done right. So how do we gauge the freedom of expression versus the And I guess what I listened to a guy I respect. His name is Max Kellerman. And he always says the right to swing your fist ends at my nose, right? So
I use that all the time.
You can swing your fist as much as you want, just don't hit me. I don't care. It don't affect me. So for me personally, now if you got to change the dynamic, if somebody's making if you look at the movie, one of the first feature-length movies called Birth of a Nation. Have you guys ever heard or seen Birth of a Nation?
Whoa. You don't even get me going on that. Because that movie was premiered in the White House of the United States of America by Woodrow Wilson.
The devil himself.
All right, so George, then when we look back at Birth of a Nation, which came out, I believe, in 1921, which has some very offensive and stereotypical portrayals of black people that are not true on any level.
I'm not offended by it. I really
Well,
am not.
first of all, but all right, do we take it? Let me ask you a question. Do we take it out of the culture, or do we use it as a learning experience?
It's a learning experience, and you lied.
Look,
And
if people
knows
watch
you
that
lied.
today, if people watch that film today, the reaction, I don't care what side of the aisle you're from, the reaction is, holy shit. Like what the hell? This is what people were watching back then?
But George, is it possible that some people might say, yeah, that's exactly what we believe about black
Of course
people?
it's possible.
Of course,
And it's not only possible,
reality.
we're
It's
talking about
probable.
just in America
No,
alone.
it's a
we're talking about
reality.
3 million
What are you
people.
talking about? That's a reality already. That's not
There's
actually.
someone out there that's going to say that.
There's
But is that going
groups
to
of people out there that feel
represent
that way.
a large group of anything? No.
Birth of
But
a
yeah,
Nation
he's
was
out there.
1915, Otis.
He's out there.
1950,
Find him.
okay.
I guarantee you'll find him on the front page of the New York Times telling the whole story about how excited he was to watch Birth of a Nation. I mean, this is just
Shout
where
out,
we're
shout
at.
out to Og. Shout out to Og in chat. He said, "What's up?" And what's up with you, Og? How's Arizona? He said he owns that flick, and he confirmed what you said, Jay. They showed it in the White House. I did not know that. And if you haven't seen Birth of a Nation, as a historical perspective, I think it's worth a watch. I mean, that's just for me. I think
Yes. So you understand
so you understand.
what your forefathers were doing to make sure that black people couldn't move forward. But we don't want to get into that. Let's just keep moving forward. I'm going to scrape this down. Scrape down, scrape down, scrape down, guys. All right, we're going to move forward. All right. So we're looking at situations like, all right,
What about
so
Mr. Potato Head?
Hollywood, like, so the LGBT community is, and I think we may have mentioned this before on another show, Otis, but that community is saying, like, and specifically the transgender community is saying that, no, and I'm not going to say the word, but no heterosexual male should be playing a transgender character in a movie.
Does that make sense to you? Just on the face of
a
it,
character in a movie, right?
it's called acting, right? Isn't that
No,
what it's called?
that's part of it. That's part of it. But
So if you're an actual transgender person doing that role, you're not really acting, are you? I mean, in the end, like
Well, no, that's not accurate, George.
that's not true. That's not
You're
true.
acting
The whole
like
thing
a
is, like,
character. You're acting like a character.
Fair
That
enough.
character
Fair enough.
may or
But
may
the
not
idea
be
is the whole
transgender.
idea of acting is that anyone can play somebody.
hey,
That
Alex
is what
Jones.
it is.
Alex
I'm not going to
Jones,
hire a
Alex
lesser
Jones.
actor because I'm dying to find a guy who wears a dress.
Listen, Alex, relax for a second. Let me talk. All right, Alex Jones. Let me talk.
Gavares, our special guest from the Patriot think tank, with his podcast coming out. So, George, when is your podcast coming out? Let's just let people
We're
know.
looking at the first week of April right now. So
And look-
we're still putting together some production pieces of it and kind of getting the formatting straight. But it's looking at the first week of April because I'm taking a vacation on the 28th. We're going to Mexico, so I don't want to start an episode and then be gone for the very second episode. So we're gonna start it then. And if you go to thepatriotthinktank.com, you can subscribe, or to our YouTube channel, The Patriot Think Tank, subscribe, and we're gonna have alerts getting sent out via email as to when the first show will broadcast.
And
Appreciate that.
congratulations on that, and thank you for your help as it relates to us being able to broadcast on multiple platforms. We are live on Twitch at Real Talk OJ. We are live on YouTube. If you want to check us out there, it's at Real Talk OJ, and we are live on Facebook at ODog the Stat Tech. So check us out wherever you decide to watch. But let's continue with where we're going, Jay.
All right. So the question is, Otis, I'm asking you. So, how do you feel about that request? We're continuing on with the same question. How do you feel about the request of, saying that gay people should be cast as, gay characters, or just, transgender should be cast as transgender characters. How do you feel about that thought process?
That's an interesting question, and I don't necessarily have an answer because it's not something that I'm affected by. But if the people in that group feel like people of the group should play people from the group, I mean, if you're playing a transgender character, I mean, if that's their request, they can certainly put in the request. But
You ain't gonna have any transgender movies, that's for sure.
Hold on,
Hold
let
on.
me finish this point, man.
Hold on. If the person, what was the movie? Tu Wong Fu, I think years ago, had John Leguizamo, Wesley Snipes, and somebody else in there, where they played.
God rest your soul, Patrick
Who was
Swayze, bro.
Patrick Swayze, okay.
man.
And they played
Broad in his acting ability.
men, and so now that was a movie that you could say was before its or ahead of its time, if you will, in some respects. But those were three straight men, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm aware of, that played cross-dressing men in a movie. Now, were they the best actors? I don't know. I guess that's what the producers thought. So my question is, shouldn't the role go to the best actors?
Well, that is a
And it's
question.
called
And
acting.
also-
So if you're a great actor and you can act like a person who's dealing with transgender issues or who's communicating
Okay.
those issues on film,
Okay.
then shouldn't you get that role? Now the question is, then you say, well, can a person who's never experienced those issues in reality really play that role as well as somebody who has experience? That's a different question, and that's for the producers and the directors and whoever's putting the film together to decide. I don't make that decision. For me
Well-
personally, it doesn't matter.
If they're a better actor, they can play it better than you.
Okay. Wait. So here's the thing. What we've come up with is there's no solution to this because the bottom line is this. Like, if we put certain facts in play, to end this subject, if we put certain facts in play, and then I'm going to go to the big subject that's going to be like, you two, you're going to react the same, George. You're like, that's BS. But what I'm saying to you, Otis, is like, in my opinion, in this situation, it's a situation where I look at what they're asking. If they're asking for that, right, then, how does Neil Patrick Harris make all the money made in the last 10 years? He played a heterosexual male who was a misogynist, basically, and was looking to get paid by random chicks because he had mad money for like 10 years. So should he not get the role? Do we turn around in Hollywood and say, hey, now you're not heterosexual, so you can't get this role because you're not heterosexual? That's why I think it's a mistake. I understand that you want to be represented better, then get your acting skills up, right, and become a star. Okay, because right now it's star power. Tu Wong Fu, that's star power. At that moment, Leguizamo, Snipes, and Swayze were the biggest things in Hollywood. And you got these three, like one is a comedian, two are action heroes. You know what I mean? Tough guy action heroes. And they're going to put dresses on. And they're going to do it. Okay? It's like, come on, man, that's Hollywood. This is about money. This is, you can't force them to do anything, because if you force them to do one thing, you're going to kill your whole cause, because then they're just not going to support any level of, transgender movie. You can't force people to do things.
Well, let me ask you this. Why is it, see, my question,
Otis, if you push the pendulum this way too far, it's going to come back really hard.
My question to you is, I am a person of color. I'm a black man, and I don't have the luxury, in my opinion, of supporting discrimination on any level. So I'm for equality for all people, because I'm looking for equality for me. So if I want equality for me, then I have to support equality for everyone, because, as they said, when they came for that group, I didn't stand up because I wasn't a member of that group. When they came for that other group, I didn't stand up because I wasn't a member of that other group. When they came for me, there was nobody to stand up for me.
Otis, do you just stand up, or do you teach them how to do things correctly?
Well, the question is this.
You cannot kick everyone. Look, I'm going to make this very simple for any, and I'm going to say it for them, any cisgender. Don't label me. I
What
do
is
not
that?
believe in that. I am a heterosexual male. I'm just a male. I'm just a dude. Okay, so
Did you say a
don't.
cyst?
Yeah, that's their term for us. They don't want to be labeled, but they're labeling me. They made up a determination for me, cisgender. I want to respect you, but that's not respectful to me. And what I'm going to say to you is this: look, every struggle takes time. It takes time, and you have all these other things going on in society besides your struggle. Everybody's struggle is still going on. So work together. Be easy, all right? Because what we're going to go to next, right? What are we looking at? We're almost at time, right? Because I
No,
know
we got
George
plenty of
got to
time. We
go.
got plenty of time. We got a good
I
10,
know
15
George
minutes.
got to go at some point.
Real live, real talk with OJ. I am O-Dog. That is J. Molly D. And that's our special guest, George Gavares from the Patriot think tank. Check out his podcast coming up. And as you can see, he's a bit more conservative than myself and my brother, but that's okay. We welcome all views on this show, even if they're crazy. Now, we might have to cut some of those crazy people off, but that's okay. George is a special guest. We treat him as we treat all
George
of our
is a
special
friend.
guests.
He's just that
George
crazy
is a
friend.
friend. He's a friend.
So,
He's family. But we're gonna treat him. We're not gonna mince words here. We are true to who we say we are, and we're gonna keep it real. And let's. Og said the big subject is, can a person? Og said, here's Og. Can a little person play Shaq in a Lifetime biopic?
yes, as long as everybody else is littler than them.
Employ midgets.
That is
That's
not
the next,
offensive
that's the
because
next
that's
big
true.
movement.
That's the only way that can be done. Or you could do it the opposite way.
Light off my face. All right, I think I got it.
I'm missing Otis. Where's Otis? All right, so we're going to keep going, George. And what I'm going to say to you is this. This is one that was really crazy to me. So you know who Bill Burr is. Of course you do.
He's my favorite comedian.
Comedian, right?
Bill Burr. I love Bill Burr.
Hold on. Let me just say this. I've come to understand. Or I've come to. It's been my experience that Bill Burr says a lot of controversial things, and people who want to say a lot of controversial shit like Bill Burr.
He does not say a lot of controversial things. He says everything that everybody's thinking that they won't say out loud, and he just says it because it's like it's true. It's like really when he
That's
talks
what
about
good
his wife,
comedians do.
when he talks
So
about
is
his
that
wife.
controversial? All right,
Hold on,
George,
no.
who's your favorite comedian? Hold on. Let's take this in a quick different direction. Let's take a detour off the course. George, who's your favorite comedian?
Bill Burr. Right now, Bill Burr,
Yeah,
Kevin Hart, close second.
Okay,
Kevin
Jay, who's
Hart?
your favorite comedian? Jay, who's your favorite comedian? You can go. I mean, this is radio. This is
No,
talk.
I have more than one. Sorry, there's no favorite. There's a couple.
Yeah, you got to pick one.
All right, well, give me the
No,
top
I
three.
can't
That's
pick
the way you want to do it.
I
I
can't
don't
pick
care.
one. I can't pick one. I
Come
can't
on,
pick one.
play the game. Jeez, this is not hard. Pick your comedian.
No, then Deion Cole.
Okay, so Deion Cole's your favorite comedian. I mean,
Deion
there's
Cole
no
is the one.
right or wrong answer. Okay, I'm
I just want to give
okay.
credit to other cats. You know what I mean?
Okay, well then do that. But
Let them be the best.
don't
Don't just give credit.
I'm a thing. In the past, I was a big Eddie Murphy guy. Right now,
It better not be a
Love Eddie
Christian
Murphy.
comic.
let me say this. I love Chris Rock's humor. I also love Dave Chappelle. I think he does some dynamic work and some amazing work. But I also think that Chris Rock calls. I'm sorry, you don't like Dave Chappelle?
I love Dave Chappelle. Actually,
Okay.
I would put him ahead of Kevin Hart. I love that.
I don't know why Kevin Hart's on the list.
I like comedians that make you think, and I like comedians that take real life subjects and make you say, like the old Arsenio, things that make you go, Like comedians that tell jokes that they're kind of funny, but they're only funny because they're kind of true, and you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, and they're funny because they're true. You know, I don't mind. Now let's go back. Do you mind, George? And we're going in a different direction, Jay, and I'm sorry. George, do you mind racial humor?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I embrace it wholeheartedly. I use it all the time. Just not in, I use it when I'm around friends. So
Okay.
if I'm with black, Mexican, etc. friends, then you're going to hear a lot of black, Mexican, and etc. jokes. That's just because I choose to hang with people that can take a freaking joke.
All right, so hold on, do you think, let me ask you this, George, as our special guest and a host of the Patriot think tank, do you think that American society has become too politically correct or too polite or too sensitive? What are your thoughts on that?
All of them. I mean, all three. I mean, we're in a place now where, no one can get offended by all this stuff without starting a conversation about things that are disturbing in American history. But they're all in American history. Most of them, not all of them, most of them are in American history. Yeah.
I just want to say to you.
I'll acknowledge that there's still some crazy shit going on, but it's not nearly on the level that people are at. And frankly, even back in the 80s and 90s, it's not like this shit wasn't going on then. And people weren't getting all freaked out and pissy about every little friggin' thing.
Because
hold on. Let me just say this. Og in chat said his two favorite comedians are Bill Burr and Dave Chappelle. And Og is a veteran. Shout out to the veterans. Thank you for your service. Og is a veteran. He's a former athlete. He's a bodybuilder, and he's also a black man. So he appreciates Bill Burr's comedy.
Yeah, see, how does Og get to give two and I couldn't? Because I was gonna say Bill Burr.
I said you could give two. You're the one that's limited yourself.
You guys were saying you got to choose.
I gave two. I said I was an old Eddie Murphy guy. I gave Chappelle and Chris Rock. I just gave three.
All I'm gonna say to you is this: jokes are jokes. Some people are gonna be offended. Some people are not. If you don't like that comedian, don't watch that comedian. But don't tell me I can't watch that comedian. Don't tell me he can't have a job and make me laugh. But I'm going to also say to you, George, everything you said prior to that smells like racism.
Yeah, I'm good with that. So I'm good with that because I don't really give a shit, right? So like
now, hold on, George. Like
the entire Twitterverse could believe that I am getting the KKK, and it would mean nothing to me. Because I would still come on your show where you both know that I'm not and be like, fuck them.
George,
excuse me.
Sorry. Let me ask you the question.
Right, George, what is your background? What is your nationality? What is your heritage?
My nationality is American.
Okay, what is your ethnic background?
Is Italian and Greek. World Wide Web. Sorry, my computer was dying right there.
All right, so wait, you're not a Native American, so technically, I mean, we're all Americans, but that's.
Well, that's my nationality. My ethnicity is Italian and Greek.
Okay, Italian and Greek.
American citizen, that's your nationality.
All right, so hold on. Let me say this. Hold on. Let me kind of get this question out there. And what I want to ask you, George, is this: and here's the struggle that I have with people. I don't offend very easily. I'm not one of those people that get offended. I'm not one of those people that get my feelings hurt. I have thick skin. But what I'm saying to you is I'm also sensitive to the fact that other people are not as thick-skinned as me. So what that makes me think is, okay, I need to be cautious with my words. And why is that a problem for some people who want to just be reckless and say anything they want about anything? Aren't we just saying, hey, look, can you think about your fellow person and say, hey, look, we're not asking you to temper everything, but just think before you speak.
So here's why that's a problem, and it is a problem, and I'll explain why quickly.
By the way, George, Og said he's been in Mexico. He's been in Arizona too long. He thought you looked Mexican. I thought the same thing, Og. I thought he was Mexican.
I moved to a darker shade of my patio here, so maybe. No, I'm as white as it gets, dude. I mean, in the end, like, I mean, look, I embraced I was raised Italian. I said I'm Italian and Greek, but like, I really didn't have any Greek culture growing up. It was all Italian. Queens, New York City. Grew up around Italians. Hell, I was 16 before I even knew that there was a such thing as a person who didn't celebrate Christmas. You know, so I was kind of shocked by, like, what? No tree? Like, what the hell's wrong with you people? So I come from that type of culture. But in the end, the reason it doesn't mean I don't care. Just because I say I don't care what people think doesn't mean that I'm an asshole.
You remember that? What do you mean this boy can't have no tree?
So stop.
Dave, what's that from? What you mean this boy can't have no tree?
Yeah. I was like, you mean you're not giving your kids presents? You heathen.
Hold on. Now, hold on. I have a son that is Jewish, and I'm okay with that. Now, when
I'm
he's
okay
with
with it. I just didn't know they existed until I was 16. Like, I don't
okay,
hate
go
them.
ahead. I'm not going to sit here and tell you. I knew that. I don't think I knew a Jewish person until I got to college. I don't think I went to Catholic high school, Catholic grammar school, and as did my
Me
brother.
too.
And I was raised Catholic / Baptist. So I didn't even, I wasn't aware that Judaism was a religion when I was young. It was only until I got to maybe 18, 19 or in college
Yep.
where
You start
I
figuring
became
it out.
introduced that Judaism and not just Judaism, but Islam. I didn't know any Muslim people. I didn't
Now
know
I'm in
any
my 20s. You're going Islam. I'm in my 20s. Like Islam was just some people I didn't know anything about in some other part of the world. Like it was. You can't be more ignorant than I was of Islam.
But let's just bring it back full circle. And aren't we just talking about a respect for people? When we talk about political correctness,
We are,
what are we
but there's a
talking
difference
Okay.
between. See,
Here we go,
and I don't
guys.
even think it's
Here
splitting
we go,
hairs.
guys.
Like
Let's pump the brakes on all
there's
of
a
this.
difference
And let's
between.
get back to Bill Burr. Let's get back to Bill Burr. This
Hold
all
on,
started
Jay.
with
Hold on.
Bill Burr, guys.
Let George finish his thought.
So there's a difference between. So for example, like transgender people, and they freak me out. Like it's weird to me.
You
Okay.
missed that show.
Okay, let's
I
stop
don't
there.
have a
Hold on.
problem saying that out loud. However,
Hold on, George.
wait, let me finish the
I'm
statement
gonna
before I
stop
get
you.
crucified on the internet. So, like,
George,
all I'm saying is they kind of freak me out a little instinctively. Okay, if I walk by a man dressed like a woman, I kind of stop and whoa,
George,
But at the same time, if my daughter brings home some dude dressed as a chick for dinner, and I didn't expect it, I'm not gonna start freaking out on the kid or start treating him freaky or make the dinner uncomfortable. If he wants to be called a shush or whatever you said they want to call it, whatever it is, if he wants to be called these things, I'll call him that stuff throughout the dinner because I'm not trying to just be a jerk, right? But at the same time, I have my own set of beliefs and I'm free to have them. And if it weird,
Okay, George.
I don't have anything against gay people. Jamal knows I used to hang out and drink with them all the time. I went on a double date with a gay couple, for Christ's sakes, with my girlfriend Sarah back when. And the fact of the matter is, though, if two gay men kiss in front of me, it freaks me out a little.
You have to
Okay. Hold on.
I can admit one without being disrespectful on the
All right, hold on. Let me say this. So what we're talking about is your uncomfortability, not theirs, correct?
What's that?
Are we talking about your uncomfortability, not theirs, correct?
Well, yeah, I guess so. If you
Okay, so wait a minute. Let me
put on a
If you anything, that is what it is.
Comfortable, I would hope so.
So what you're concerned about is your position in this world and saying, wait, look, you're supposed to make me comfortable because these are my beliefs versus.
I'm not. Like the fact that I'm uncomfortable, it doesn't mean that now I have anger towards that person.
Okay,
That's not the
That's
point.
the distinction that I'm making. Like,
And that's why this is real
just
talk.
because it
And I
weirds me out a little bit
appreciate-
doesn't mean that I have to hate this person. But it
I
also doesn't
appreciate
mean that I
honesty.
can't say that I'm weirded out a little. Like,
Guys,
I'm-
can we get back to the regular? Can
Hold
we get
on,
back
Jay.
to the regular line in the sand, which is
Hey, hold on,
black and
hold on,
white
hold on, hold on,
silliness?
hold on, Jay, hold on. I like where we're going with this because what I like is George's honesty, his candor, and his forthrightness, and he's telling you that it makes him uncomfortable. So we have to explore that and say, what about it makes it? Hold on. What about it makes it uncomfortable? Because it's different, because it's unique, because it doesn't align with your views of the world.
It's mostly, look, to me, yeah, I guess you would say if you had to articulate in one of those points, it would be it certainly doesn't align with my views of the world.
Okay.
But in saying that, it doesn't mean, look, my philosophy is simple. It's a conservative philosophy. I use that line you used earlier all the time. You're right to swing your hand ends at my nose. I don't really give, if you want to wear a dress and run around and do what you want to do, fine. I don't
So you
care.
respect
As
you
long as-
respect
as long as
people's
you're wearing
freedom.
a dress
As a conservative, you respect
you.
people's freedom to do what they want to do and live the life they want to live.
Absolutely, including
Okay.
being a little weirded out when you see something.
Okay.
That too
Okay.
falls under that category.
Okay, so
that's my point.
Since you guys have dragged me into this, which we did a whole show on, 2 weeks ago. My whole point is this: yes, people are going
Shout out to
to
our cousin Kadira who joined us in chat on Facebook.
people are going to be on. They're going to be uncomfortable. That is what it is. All right. But the bottom
And that's
line,
all I was saying.
the bottom line is presentation is always key when you're uncomfortable. It's like you can't like you have to really. I feel like you have to. I feel like you have to be sincere, and you have to find a way to sound sincere
That's
when
fine.
you're saying those things.
But when I say I see a
Like,
man
it can't just be.
weirds me out.
George,
It doesn't mean that I'm engaging them.
What
I'm
I'm
just
saying
walking,
is
like the
this. What I'm
scenario, if
saying
you looked
is
at it
this.
on video, is me walking by,
What
looking
I'm
at
saying
someone,
is if
and
you're-
in my head thinking, wow, that's
Instead,
weird.
if your
I
daughter,
continue
hold
to
on.
walk.
if your
Like,
daughter came home with a dude in a dress, you'd be like, "Okay, this is what's happening right now." But you
yeah,
know,
Right, but good.
in my head,
Good.
I wouldn't see
Hold
it.
on.
And then I'd be like, hey, how you doing? You know,
Let me ask you this,
whatever,
George. Let me ask you this,
whatever,
George.
you know.
Let me ask you this, George. Let me ask you this.
I really
Have you
wanna
ever
move
considered
forward.
the fact that if you're out on the street with your wife and you're holding hands with your wife and you're kissing, or you decide to give your wife a nice, affectionate kiss or hug, that it might make somebody who's not heterosexual uncomfortable? Somebody
Well,
who,
I'll let you in a little secret. I don't like heterosexuals to get making out in public either. There's a time and a place. Like the fact of the matter is,
that's not the question that I asked you, though. What I asked you is, have you considered the fact that you, as a heterosexual male, might make some other people uncomfortable when you display affection to your wife or your significant other?
Yeah,
Have you
maybe I do. If that happens, but again, I don't give a shit.
His
Because
whole thing,
reality
no,
is just
his
like
whole
I
thing
get,
is like,
just
I don't
like
like
I
it
look
either.
at something
They
that
don't
makes
like
me
it.
uncomfortable and I keep walking.
Oh,
When you look
oh,
at something I'm doing that makes you uncomfortable,
oh, this-
keep your ass walking.
They don't like
As
it.
long as
I
you're
don't
not
like
saying anything
it.
to me,
So we're on
I
the
don't
same
care what you
side
think.
there. I don't like it
Wait a
there.
minute, wait a minute, Jay. You said they. Who are they?
Huh?
Who are they?
He said, you said a person that is not heterosexual. So his whole thing is like, I don't like public displays of affection. They don't like
Right,
public displays of
but no,
affection.
here's the thing. What George is saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, George, I'm going to paraphrase. You don't like PDAs. You don't like public displays of affection, regardless of whether it's heterosexual, homosexual, transgender, or any other type. You just don't like PDAs.
Time and a place, absolutely.
Okay,
And the
so
reality of the matter,
that's a fair position. So what you're saying is all public displays of affection make you uncomfortable.
not uncomfortable. Look, it depends on how big. Look, kissing your wife on the cheek is a public display of affection. That's meaningless. If you're sitting there making out with a girl, that's disgusting.
Uncomfortable.
Okay,
Hey,
like
If you just start breastfeeding in the middle of the mall, then yeah, that's not cool.
wait a minute. Hold on.
I don't need to see tongue kissing in the middle of
is we're gonna move
a
forward.
public square.
We're
I
gonna
don't need
move
to see
forward.
it. I can look the other way, and I do. It's not like I fought a war over it.
Otis,
So
we're
if
gonna move
you
forward.
ask me, like, it's not uncomfortable. It doesn't make me uncomfortable. It just annoys me. I'm just like, Jesus. Like,
All I'm
have a
saying
little
is,
freaking
I mean,
breath,
I'm
people.
moving
What the hell's
forward.
wrong with you?
No, well, hold on, Jay. Hold on. You got to let this thing go organically because
difficult to make
George
it.
is
we need to go
some
to the next subject,
serious,
and then we need to
significant
get to
topics
this and
to
that.
the show that I really appreciate and respect and understand. I'm trying to understand because he offers a unique perspective that we don't have. I lean more liberal than conservative. He leans more conservative than liberal, and that's
I
okay.
think
But
our socialists just said the same thing.
no,
I really
what
do.
Jay, no, what we're trying to do, Jay always talks about we need to communicate better. You need to talk to somebody with different views, and that's what we're doing here, Jay.
Yes,
I'm talking to George, and we don't have similar views. I'm not made uncomfortable by
understand. I
any
understand, but
public displays of affection.
Okay.
And now look, George, I would be.
But most people aren't. That's the point.
Hold on, let me
That's the
say this. And I'll keep it real. This is real talk with OJ, so I'm gonna keep it real. If I happen to walk by two women kissing or two men kissing, there's going to be a second where I say,
depending on what they look like.
no, I'm not offended, but I'm going to say, oh, well, that's different.
Yeah, just understand it. Absolutely. You like that one?
No, it's different than what I'm personally accustomed to. But if I see a man and a woman and they slobbering each other down, I'll be like, yo, y'all need to get a room and get the hell up.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, so we agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't mind
Right,
if you give your wife a kiss and you kiss the kids hello. Like
and 15 more
those are
minutes.
displays of
Okay,
affection,
can
but they're
we
not.
get to the fun stuff, the easy stuff? I got some questions.
No. Can we get to what we were supposed to be starting this point about?
You got 4 minutes.
Bill Burr. Okay.
Well, we didn't start this talking about Bill Burr. Bill Burr just came up organically.
Yes, we did, and you turned it into what's your favorite comedian, and then
Well, I mean, and that's an organic conversation.
I understand we're on YouTube, but we don't have to go down their rabbit hole right now.
We're not going down any rabbit hole. We're just having a conversation. Bill Burr, how conversations happen.
Bill Burr, which a lot of people don't know, is married to a black woman.
Now, I did not know that. I find. Hold on. Let me just say this. I find that fascinating, interesting,
and he never once said it in any special or anything. Okay,
I did not know that. Are you sure that's accurate? Is that the internet playing?
I'm going to tell you why it's accurate in a second.
Now he is married to a black chick.
Listen, this man is a man who has said very simply the things that like a lot of good husbands feel. I don't know, the shitty husbands probably don't feel like.
Her name is Nia Renee Hill.
Yes. Now, what I'm saying to you is this: I have all of that next to me. You am I supposed to be doing this, or are you doing it? What's happening?
Organ chat, Jay. Organ chat. I enjoy good breastfeeding. Baby's got to eat.
The thing about
shout out to all. Thanks for chiming in. Shout out to Dear in chat. What's
I
up,
love
Dear?
the fact that man said something that I feel, and we're in the opposite situation. He's got a black woman. I'm married to a white woman. And he's like, apparently the only thing that we need to work on is me.
That's universal.
I think that's a woman. That's why Bill Burr is loved by a lot of people. But somebody put up a post somewhere that it was some dude for some reason my
Organ chat said he talked about it a lot in his podcast when they were boyfriend and girlfriend.
He said that Bill Burr, marrying his wife might have a level of racism in it.
Now hold on, Jay.
What doesn't have a level of racism in it?
Hold on.
2021. Everything has a level of racism in it. You just have to look hard enough.
First of all, I don't think I do think that I don't think it's racism, but I think race plays a factor in a lot of issues.
Exactly, because her chocolatey skin made him want to be close to it with his chalky ass Irish skin. He was like, I want to see the contrast. That's why black dudes sleep with white girls. They want to see that contrast.
That's why you think, but I'm not exactly sure that's why.
I'm not saying there's differences. Differences. Look, opposites attract. You know how that's a thing? Opposites attract. So since that happens, sometimes it happens interracial. It's like that's why everybody's beige at some point. Beige with like big ears. Like
here's the interesting.
I'm just saying, it just is what it is. But
here's the interesting thing to me is that nobody really cares. I just say this?
Go.
Okay.
The interesting thing is this, is that someone took the time out of their lives to say that him marrying the woman he loves somehow had racism attached to it.
Well, I don't think it has racism.
I don't even know what that means.
It was a Twitter. Somebody put a Twitter post
always
up,
goes back
and
to
you want to know what his wife said?
What did his wife say?
His wife said, "Shut up, bitch." And it was a dude that she was talking to. Shut up.
But here's my thing.
That's a very black woman thing to say, though.
Whoa, you reaching, dog. You going all out tonight.
It is. If someone told me that their wife told someone else, shut up, bitch. I can't think of a white girl that would say that. Like, I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure there's a few out there. But
there's a lot out there, bro.
But the
let me tell you something. I know some Asian women that would say that.
They don't come from nowhere.
I know some Spanish women that would say that. I know some
Yeah,
Italian
you're right.
women that would
You're
say
right. I
that.
can think of some Latinas.
Okay, so come on,
Say a
stop.
lot worse
Come
than
on.
that,
Let
probably.
me explain this to you.
Right.
There are all different colors of hood people, including Polish,
That's true. That's true.
Italian, Greek, everybody. Hood is
That's
hood.
true.
And if you got people around you,
And really, it's the
what
hood
it is.
attitude. You got a good point there. I'll buy that.
And if
All right.
more of them,
All right, let's get to the fun
around
stuff.
you,
Can we get to the
then
fun stuff?
look like you're gonna be a little bit more like them. That's it.
All right, can we get to the fun stuff? Here's some fun. We got in the final minutes of the show. We got 5 minutes to go. Let's go. Real talk with OJ. George, I'm going to ask you a question that I asked my wife that my wife refused to answer. Would you rather be 15 minutes early, but every time you showed up for every appointment 15 minutes early, you would have to yell 15 times at the top of your lungs, I'm 15 minutes early again! I'm 15 minutes early again! Or would you rather be 5 minutes late for every appointment, and when you walked in, you had to whisper to the person that you were meeting, I'm sorry I'm 5 minutes late, 5 times. I'm sorry I'm 5 minutes late. I'm sorry I'm 5 minutes late. I'm sorry I'm 5 minutes late. Which would you prefer?
It's an interesting question. I guess I would do. I mean, I try to be right on time, but I guess I would do the 5 minutes late.
Really?
It's a little weird to be yelling shit.
Jay, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm going 15 minutes early.
Because that makes you look like a person who's trying to take credit for shit you're supposed to do. You know?
I'm doing it anyway. And then your shit looks like you're saying sorry for being late all the time.
Yeah, I guess so. Metaphorically,
Okay.
I guess you're correct.
I'm winning. I'm here.
But you're screaming at the top of the lungs every time you arrive. 15 minutes. I'm 15 minutes early again.
I'm here.
Like if someone's meeting me and they're in the hallway yelling that they're 15 minutes early, I'm thinking to myself, like, this guy's totally fucking like so
That's what I mean. Isn't that kind of a like where you're like, what is wrong with this human?
Yeah. But then when you get there and you get close to that person and you go, I'm 5 minutes late. I'm sorry, I'm 5 minutes late.
Yeah, that's freaking awkward.
5 minutes late.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true,
exactly.
too.
I'll take the crazy.
I'd be weirded out by that. I'd be like, dude, why
I'm curious to hear what Ogg's answer. Now hold on. Ogg, I'm curious to hear what Ogg's answer is in the chat. Because Ogg is a veteran who exists on time or existed on time for a long time. I want to hear what Ogg says to that question. So keep an eye out what's going on in chat, Jay. All right, we're going to ask a couple more questions about would you rather. Okay. Let me see. Would you rather be in jail for a year or lose a year off your life?
I'll take the year off my life.
All day, you're off my life, B.
Either way, you're losing a year of life. I don't need the experience that comes with jail.
Exactly.
Pass on that.
You're off my life, homie.
All right, well, let me ask you this. Would you rather know the history of every object you ever touched or be able to talk to animals?
Be able to talk to who?
Animals. I'm going with animals.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the animals. I don't really care where shit comes from. It's all about where you're at.
All right, let me see. I got a couple more.
Finally,
would you
got it.
rather give up all drinks except for water or give up eating anything that was cooked in an oven?
Wait, say the first
All
part again?
things except for water.
Would you rather give up all drinks except for water or give up eating anything that was cooked in an oven?
Yeah, the water's got to go. I mean, the drinks got to go.
Exactly. Judah said all things except for water. Say it on the camera.
Yeah, you want me to give up steak? Like, that's some...
Hey, Judah, how are you? All right, so let me ask you this. Would you rather have an easy job working for someone else or work for yourself but work incredibly hard, Jay?
Work incredibly hard for myself. What do you think, Judah? Incredibly hard for yourself or have an easy job and work for someone else? Easy job? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's right.
I think that's a little bit. I think Judah, you can tell me the truth on the side.
I think he's real.
Ogg in chat said he would rather be always early and scream at the top of his lungs. He said, I'm not built for jail. So he said, damn, no pizza or no beer. Oh, that's a tough one. That is good, Ogg.
Yeah, that was a fight. That's a fight. That's a fighting thing right there.
All things being equal, if the pay was equal, he said it depended on the pay. But what if the pay was equal across the board, Ogg? Then what would you choose? All right, and I got one more for you. Let me pick a good one. All right, hold on. Would you,
George, that's Judah.
How you doing, Judah?
All right, here we go. Let me see. I'm looking up some questions, and I have it. Would you rather? No. Would you rather? Okay, this is a good one. I think this is a good one to end on. Would you rather be forced to dance for 20 seconds every time you heard music, or be forced to sing along to any song you heard for 20 seconds every time you heard the song?
Jude, what do you think I'll say, Jude?
Sing.
Sing?
Yeah.
You don't think both?
Actually,
Exactly. I choose both. He knows what's up. What about you? Dance?
Og said he's taking the easy job.
Judah
George,
says
what are you taking? Are you going to sing or you going to dance, George?
I'm gonna do the dance, man. I got moves. I'll shake that belly around. Get crazy up.
I don't know how many moves you got, but anyway. All right, let's we're at the end of our time, everybody. It's been another tremendous night. Thank you for joining us. This is Real Talk with OJJ. What are your final words?
My final words is, this is my beautiful son, Judah, and he is awesome, and I couldn't have been blessed better than this. You know what I mean?
George, what are your final words?
Check out the Patriot think tank. Like
That's
us
okay.
on Facebook. Follow. Selfless.
Promotion.
AJ Pop said he would sing for the 20 seconds. Og said he would sing, and he's punishing him with his lack of ability. He said, great show. Thank you, Og. We appreciate your support. And he said, what's up to Judah? Shout out to Judah from Og. So thank you for everybody that supported the show. We appreciate the time. We do not take it for granted. This is Real Talk for OJ. We're going to be off next week, but we'll be back the following week. So check us out. We'll be on 5 o'clock West Coast time, or 5:30, somewhere in there. Or we'll be on 8:30, 8 or 8:30. And George, you are always welcome here. I do appreciate, and I love the fact that we don't agree. We have differences of opinions, but that's okay. And it just shows that with Real Talk, you can accomplish things if we can all understand each other better. And that's
now your new name is AJ.
I don't know what that means.
You know what it is.
That must be a restaurant, inside restaurant thing. But thank you to everybody for joining us. Thanks to Kadira, thanks to Og, thanks to Pop, and thanks to everybody for jumping in on us. We appreciate you. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. All right, everybody? Thanks to Ruben Rodriguez. Everybody, we love you. Have a great night. Happy St. Patrick's Day. We're lucky to have you on this show. Thank you.
Peace.